Hello guys, if you like my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. The sun was shining brightly on the street, and the brawlers had a well-deserved day off. Usually on such days, the arena closed down and nobody fought. All the residents of the arena were having fun and enjoying themselves. Of course, rest was very important for the brawlers to gather strength for future battles. But Max had other plans for this wonderful day. She was thinking about getting a pet, maybe a dog, a cat, or a rabbit. Sometimes it can get boring on the arena, and a pet could be a great companion. Max already had friends, but she wanted someone to always be waiting for her at home after fights. So she decided to ask her friend Bee for advice. As Max walked out onto the street and headed towards Bee's house, she noticed that there were a lot of brawlers playing ball outside. She smiled and thought that a pet could be a great companion for such games. Finally, Max arrived at Bee's house and asked for her opinion on getting a pet.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
Bee replied with a smile.
But don't forget that pets need a lot of attention and care. Are you ready to take on such responsibility? Yes, I'm ready. I know it won't be easy, but I'll definitely find time for my new friend. Having a pet is cool,
she said. These words inspired Max, and she decided to buy a pet today. Max was very grateful to her friend for the advice, and she headed to the nearest town where there was a pet store. She walked along beautiful roads that were littered with bright flowers and emitted a pleasant aroma. She enjoyed these wonderful views and smells that reminded her of how beautiful the world around us is. Finally, Max arrived in the town where the animal shelter was located. She was very happy to have found such a place because she really needed a new friend. Max loved animals and always dreamed of having her own pet. When she approached the building, she found that there was no one there. She looked around and did not notice any signs of life. Max went inside and found that there was no one there either. She began to walk through the rooms, but there were no people or animals anywhere. But suddenly she stopped, hearing a voice from behind. Turning around, she saw a cute white rabbit locked behind bars. Of course, Max couldn't just pass by. She approached the cage to find out what had happened.
What are you doing here?
She asked. The rabbit looked at the girl with a sad gaze and told her story. Her name is Connie, and she recently experienced a terrible tragedy. A tsunami flooded her home, and she lost her friends. Her home was completely destroyed, and she had to live on the streets. One day, Connie decided to look for a new home and went to an animal shelter. She hoped to find a new family there, but all the animals had been adopted except for her. Connie was left alone and very sad. She couldn't understand why no one wanted to adopt her. She was just as cute and kind as all the other animals, but unfortunately, people only saw her unusual appearance. In the end, the shelter closed, and Connie was left alone in her cage. Nobody wanted to take her home. Max was very upset to hear about this cruelty. She approached the bars and broke them with her blaster so that Connie could be free. But Connie didn't want to leave.
What am I supposed to do on my own? No one needs me,
said Connie.
Don't say that. I really like you. I'll take you home with me,
replied Max. Connie was surprised and happy that someone was willing to become her owner. She came out of the cage and followed Max. Along the way, Max even bought her a carrot, and Connie was so grateful. In the end, they arrived home, and Connie was very happy to have found a new home and family. When they got home, Connie told Brawler that she was very hungry and wanted to eat. Brawler cooked her delicious food, and Connie ate to her heart's content. Connie was a true gourmet and loved to eat. Thus began their unusual friendship. Brawler found herself a pet, but a very unusual one. Soon she introduced her to Bee, and the rabbit was very popular with the girl. Max even walked with Connie around the arena sometimes, and other brawlers asked with interest who she was. Everything seemed wonderful. Connie thought she had found paradise, but over time the euphoria faded. Max had to fight every day to earn enough money for food for both herself and the rabbit. They both loved to eat well, so if Max stayed at home, they wouldn't earn anything, and they would simply starve. Connie stayed at home alone all day. Even when she occasionally went outside, she walked alone. After all the brawlers were busy with battles and training in the arena. With each passing week, Connie became sadder and sadder. She began to feel like a burden because she wasn't helping Max, who fought every day to feed them and buy everything they needed. This hurt Connie deeply, and she made the difficult decision to run away from Max to avoid causing her any more trouble. Connie didn't want to bother anyone anymore. Connie prepared to leave and decided to write a farewell letter. While searching for paper and a pen, she found an unusual flask with liquid inside.
What could this be?
Connie thought. Unable to contain her curiosity, she opened the lid and sniffed the contents. The smell was very delicious, and she drank all the liquid to the bottom. Suddenly, an electric shock ran through her body, and Connie felt a surge of strength. She quickly flew out of the house at incredible speed and made several laps around the arena. Wow, that speed! She thought, completely forgetting about her departure. And then a brilliant idea came to her. Connie decided to become a brawler so she wouldn't have to depend on Max. When Max returned home, she was greeted by a beaming Connie. When Max asked her why she was so happy, Connie told her about her troubles and her desire to become a brawler.
Now that's a statement.
The girl thought. Max was surprised. Where did this idea come from all of a sudden? But when Connie showed her the flask with the liquid, everything became clear.
You can't become a new brawler because the energy drink gives you the same abilities as me,
said Max.
But if you want to help me and not sit at home all day, we can try having you replace me in battles.
That's a great idea. I agree,
replied Connie. Max noticed that Connie needed a costume to perform on the arena. Connie really wanted to look like her owner, so she chose a costume that was very similar to Max's costume. They spent the whole night sewing a rabbit-sized costume. By morning, everything was ready, and Connie fit perfectly into the costume. However, Max noticed a strange ring on Connie's neck that she didn't make herself. Connie explained that it was her husband Braun. They hadn't seen each other in a long time, and it was unknown where he was. It was her talisman to keep her husband close. After an agreement with the organizers, Max stayed home to rest, and Connie went to the arena in her new costume. She performed for the first time in her life and had a splendid battle with other brawlers. She loved it so much, and now she knew that her life shouldn't be dull and limited within four walls. And that's how Brawler CONY Max came to be. Thank you for watching this story. I hope it was interesting and informative for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comments. I always appreciate feedback from my viewers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos and receive notifications about new stories. We would be happy to see you again. Until we meet again on the channel,